What does the rest of the league think about the Seattle Seahawks players on offense? All right, everybody. Good morning. Happy Friday. Hope things are well. Things are happening in the world of football again. Things are happening in the world of the Seattle Seahawks. And we are getting very close to actual training camp, which means we're not that far away from preseason either. So things are going to get fun pretty soon here. But we still have some more off-season stuff to look at. And I want to go through this little article series that ESPN did. They did this same thing last year, and I think the year before. I don't know how long they've been doing it, but they've been doing it. So what they do, and I think this is actually pretty cool because this isn't the ESPN writers putting this together. This is based off of what executives, coaches, and scouts think about the talent level across the NFL. So you're really talking about, excuse me, you're really talking about what the people who actually work in the league believe. Not to say they're necessarily going to get everything right, but it's interesting to hear what they have to say. So today I thought we'd go through the offense. ESPN releases one position a day. They released the final position yesterday. They do it in a weird order. They kind of do the zigzag thing where they go defense, offense, offense, defense, offense, offense, defense, defense. It's very random. I've decided to do it in a more orderly fashion, looking first at the offense, and then probably in another video, either later today or tomorrow, we'll look at the defense. Now, the downside to this strategy, I'm just going to say it, is we start with the offense where there isn't going to be a ton to look at. I'm just going to go ahead and say it right now. The executives, coaches, and scouts that were polled for this ranking do not think the world of the Seahawks talent level offensively. Please like this video if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new. Click the bell for notifications. Become a channel member for $2 a month. Those are the best ways to support the channel. Let's take a look starting at quarterback. And I'm not looking at the whole list here. I just want to go through and look and see what they think about the Seattle Seahawks. Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Lamar, Jaden Daniels, Stafford. Pretty standard list for the most part. I think this is the kind of list you would see in most places on the internet if you were to try to rank quarterbacks. So standard all the way through to number 10, more or less. So no Sam Darnold in the top 10. We get to honorable mention, Stroud, Love. So only two honorable mentions. And then they also have a collection of guys who also received votes. So somebody ranked them in the top 10, just not enough. Kyler, Brock Purdy, Dak Prescott, Aaron Rodgers, Tua, and Bo Nix. No Sam Darnold anywhere. So Sam Darnold did not get a single vote. And one thing I want to be clear on is that it would not be fair to call this an actual ranking from 1 to 18. What this is a ranking from 1 to 10, and then they throw in other guys that got voted by somebody or some small group into the top 10, but didn't actually make it. If this ranking was expanded out and the scouts and coaches and executives were asked to rank out to 18, that'd be different, and it would probably produce different results. But based on what we have here, we have basically a top 18 list of quarterbacks, and there is no Sam Darnold. Do I think that that is fair? Yeah, I do. I think Darnold is probably top 20 right now. I think he should be top 20. I don't know if I think he should be top 18, and I know we're splitting hairs at that point, but I don't think this is egregious, but it does highlight the fact that in the point really being made here is that in the eyes of the NFL, Sam Darnold is not a top 18 quarterback, and nobody polled here apparently thought that he was a top 10 quarterback. It definitely means that. It might not mean the first thing, but it definitely means the second thing. Okay, next position was running back. So let's just go through it here. Barkley, Derrick Henry, Gibbs, Bijan, McCaffrey, Jacobs, Taylor, Cook, Mixon, Kamara. So no Seahawks in the top 10. We got honorable mention here. We got, I think, yeah, this is 5 guys in the honorable mention. Irving, Jones, Achane, Hall, and James Conner. Still no Seahawks. That's 15. And then also receiving votes, Kyron Williams, David Montgomery, Brian Robinson Jr., Chuba Hubbard, DeAndre Swift. So that's 20. Now, we do have a little bit of Seahawks representation here in Ken Walker, but if this is to be taken as a list in actual, like, meaningful order, which, again, it's not entirely clear how much this should be interpreted as a list from 1 to 21, but if it is, that means Ken Walker made the cut at number 21, so that would be not even top 20. I understand that Ken Walker is a little bit polarizing. I know that there are some people that don't believe that he's very good. There are some people who believe that he hurts himself with the way that he plays. I have a very hard time believing that he's not a top 20 running back in the league. I have a very hard time believing that. Maybe the injuries, right? Maybe the injury stuff makes him not top 20, I guess. But he's not the only running back, including of running backs on this list, that have missed significant time in their career so far. Yeah, I don't think I can sign off on that one. I can understand him not being top 10. I can kind of understand him not being top 15, but not putting him in the top 20 to me, now you're just hating. Now you're just, you pushed it a little bit too far here. So can't really sign off on that one. Can't really agree with that one. Wide receiver is next. We got Jamar Chase. We got JJ Jettis, or Jay Jettis, whatever they call him. Tyreek. I don't know if White Tyreek's in the top 3 now at this point, by the way. CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Amon-Ra, Malik Neighbors, Nico Collins, Mike Evans, Garrett Wilson. So that's your top 10. No Seahawks. Honorable mentions. We got Scary Terry. We got Puka. We got Brian Thomas. We have a former Seahawk in DK Metcalf. He's in the honorable mentions at, I guess, 14. T. Higgins, Devontae Adams. So that's your top 16, I guess, and no Seahawks. So we got to get down to the also receiving votes area. Devontae Smith is receiving votes. Ladd McConkey receiving votes. And JSN comes in here with the also receiving votes tag. So somebody thought he was a top 10 receiver in the league. Now, again, I would definitely caution against taking this as a direct list. But if you do, that means JSN is 19th. That means he is 19th, according to other NFL people who actually work in the NFL, among wide receivers. And by the way, you go through the rest of the list, there are not other Seahawks here, which that's to be expected. It's close. I think JSN should be a little higher. I can understand them wanting to see one more year, right? Like, if you look at some of the guys that are above him, guys like Devontae Adams, guys like T. Higgins, guys like DK Metcalf, they've been doing it year after year after year. So I can understand people saying, look, we got to see it. We got to see it a little bit more. But then you've got guys like Brian Thomas and Ladd McConkey, who also only have one big year. And then you've got a guy like Devonta Smith, who is the number 2 receiver on a super stacked offense, playing life on easy mode, basically. I don't know if you were to ask me who would you rather have for the next 5 years, JSN or Devonta Smith, I think it's JSN all day. There's a little bit of a curve here because JSN has only really proven himself as a great slot receiver. But, I mean, they did put Amon-Ra at, where was he, 6th? And he's mostly a slot receiver, too. So, I think he should be a little bit higher. I think he should be an honorable mention. I really do. Again, they put Brian Thomas in honorable mention, and Brian Thomas is awesome. I got nothing bad to say about Brian Thomas, but Brian Thomas only has one good year in the NFL, too. Same as JSN. I don't know. It's not way off. I'm not here to act like this is egregious. I think that I think JSN should be top 15. And honestly, after watching the Seahawks last year, maybe DK was playing injured. That's very possible. But JSN looked like a better receiver than DK Metcalf to me last year. He just did. And I know there's that whole thing about DK having a career full of production and JSN only has the 1 year, but what is this list really trying to evaluate? Are we ranking careers or are we ranking where these players are headed? Next up, we got tight end, and I'm just going to blow through this real quick because you guys probably already know. I don't think I even need to say it. We got our top 10 tight ends, and there are no Seattle Seahawks. We have honorable mention. There are no Seattle Seahawks, and then there are also receiving votes. No Seattle Seahawks, because who would you really put here, right? Noah Fant, decent player, but he gets lost in the wash with a lot of these other players. Now, I would say that Noah Fant is probably not worse than some of these guys. Like, is Noah Fant worse than Zach Ertz? No, I don't think so. Is he worse than Juwan Johnson or Jonnu Smith or Cole Kmet? Probably not. But is he better? No, he's just kind of lost in the wash there. But anyway, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So they rank 22 tight ends by some standard. And there's no Seahawks because the only guy who could even potentially get ranked here is Noah Fant. And I mean, you could put him at like 22nd or something and it wouldn't. He just feels a little anonymous, right? Like you stack him up next to somebody like Zach Ertz and you're like, just throw them both in a bag. I'll close my eyes, reach in, pull one out, and feel fine either way. So you wouldn't expect him necessarily. Okay, offensive line, a tackle. This is specifically tackle, the left and right. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of these websites ranking players by position group rather than specific position, but whatever. We're going by tackle here. So we got Wirfs, we got Sewell, we got Lane Johnson, Trent Williams, Maitaya, Slater, Tunzel, Dawkins, Darisaw, Thomas. The no Seahawks in the top 10. Honorable mention, we got Jake Matthews, we got Joe Alt, Ronnie Staley, Colton Miller, Taylor Decker, Bernard Raymond. So that's 16 guys now, still no Seahawks. We get down to also receiving votes, and we get a little bit of representation. Charles Cross comes in here after Brian O'Neill, I guess ranked 18th. I understand why he's not honorable mention, but I feel like he should be. I don't know if I think he should be top 10. I don't think we're there yet. I look at these guys in the top 10 and I'm like, I don't know if Cross is there yet. I'm very confident that he will be in 6 months. But I'm looking at these guys in honorable mention, and I'm feeling like Cross last year, the way that he played in a really bad situation, is on their level, probably better than some of these guys. So it's close, but I can't say I agree. I think that it's in the right ballpark at least. It's not anything awful. But I'm looking at somebody like a Paris Johnson Jr., who is good, but to me, putting Charles Cross and Paris Johnson Jr. on the same kind of level it's a little bit whack. And finally, we have interior offensive linemen, and this is another one that we're going to go through real quick because I don't think I need to explain to people why the Seahawks might not be so well represented here. So we're just going to scroll through the top 10, no Seahawks. Going to scroll through the honorable mentions, no Seahawks. And also receiving votes, we have no Seahawks. Because our left guard is a rookie. Our right guard, we don't even know who it's going to be, but it's going to be somebody that doesn't really have any skins on the wall, hasn't really done anything in the NFL yet. And the center is one of the worst centers in the league. So why would any of those guys be here? They shouldn't. And yeah, that's it. That's the whole offense. So we do not have a single top 10 player on offense. We do not have a single honorable mention. All we have are a handful of players receiving votes. K9, JSN, and Cross. I think, yeah, I believe that's it. So if the executives, coaches, and scouts in the NFL are to be believed, then we have a real talent deficiency on offense here. We have a real problem with the level of talent in this offensive huddle. And I think that they're a little bit off. I don't think they're critically off, though. Like, I think that Darnold probably isn't a top 18 quarterback. If he is, he's right at the bottom. I think they missed on K9, but I don't think K9's a top 10 running back. I think he's probably top 15. Wide receiver, I think they missed a little on JSN, but I don't think he's a top 10 receiver either. Maybe he's top 15. I'd probably put him in the top 15 if I had to think about it, but it's not way off. And then tight end, yeah, I get that. I think Cross is a little underrated here, but only by a handful of spots. So that's the thing that really stands out. We have some decent enough players. We got some intriguing players. We have players that I think are going to get their due soon. I think that if K9 can stay healthy, he will probably be considered a top 10 or borderline top 10 running back by the end of this season. I think that JSN, if he can stay healthy, will be top 10 or borderline top 10 by the end of the season. I think Cross will be top 10 by the end of the season, but has not happened yet. And this is where the Kubiak stuff comes in, right? This is where we need Clint Kubiak to be what we wanted him to be when we signed him. This is where we need Kubiak to be the great equalizer. But let me know what you guys think about all that. I understand that these ranking lists are probably getting a little bit tiring. We did some of these videos for Pro Football Focus. I think Pro Football Focus was actually a little kinder to our players than this ranking is. So take that for what it's worth. But let me know what you guys think. I will see you guys soon. Go Hawks. At least one more video later today, maybe more. I'm going to do the follow-up video to this one either later today or tomorrow, probably tomorrow. Go Hawks.